Okay, so we're going to try and animate this sprite moving around. First thing we'll do is we'll have a when clicked function there. Now I'm going to use variables to do this. I am going to make one variable for acrossness. And I'll make a second variable for up and down. Alright. When we start, the first thing I will do is I will set up and downness to 5, and I will set acrossness to 5. And I'll connect those up to my program. The next thing I do is I'll use the motion tab, and I will get the change x function and the change y function. And I will use change x by acrossness and change y by up and downness. And I'll connect those to my program. Now as I run my program, we can see the sprite's starting to move. The problem is I've got to keep clicking to get the sprite to move. So we want to animate that using a loop. And so I go to the Control tab, and I'll choose to loop forever. And I will place those two functions inside the loop function. So now we've got our sprite starting to move. The problem is when our sprite gets to the top, it stays there. So what I want to do is I want the sprite to know when it gets to the top to bounce down. So to do that, I will use the if function, and I will say that if the y position of the sprite becomes greater than 170, then what I need to do is I need to set up and downness to -5. And I'll place that inside my loop. And so now my sprite will bounce off the top. Okay. The next thing I do is I place another if, another operation, and I say if my x position is greater than, and the number I'm looking for I can see just down here is around about 230. Then set x acrossness to -5. There we go. What's happened here? Let me just start that again. Stop my program. Let's run that again. And it bounces off the top and the side. Two more collision detects. I need to say if the y position becomes less than. So if the y position is less than, this time I'm using less than. If the y position is less than, because I want to know if the sprite comes down off the bottom of the screen, is less than -170. Then what I will do is I will set up and downness to +5. And I'll place that inside my loop. Run the program, bouncing off the bottom, and finally I'll have one more selection that says if the x position is less than -230, then set acrossness to +5. And there we have our animation.